So there was once these 4 blind men trying to describe a huge elephant standing in front of them. And running their hands over a tusk or some crinkled skin, they described only a small part because they couldn't see the whole thing. And they fought amongst themselves, 4 blind men with their visions locked upon the highest shelf, 4 perspectives, with only the personal elected as truth and all others dismissed, a missed opportunity for proof of how combined power can build tall towers and untangle languages, proof of how our differences open more doors than they do build up barriers that they fought, turning 8 blind eyes until blood was spilled and they turned to face a hesitant why. And there stood a young girl with clear eyes who explained to each of the men that their perspectives were right and helped them to realise that they'd misplaced their sight. Now, in my city, we are a people of many, more than 4. But still we walk the streets as if blindfolded, jostling shoulders, splitting lips and picking fights. We listen to whispers disappearing around street corners. To the midnight busker screaming Nirvana songs, here where the buildings are not so tall and sun still trickles down between their walls, we can afford to stop a while. And with bare feet grasp the warm concrete with our toes, listen to hung-over coffee pot woes and watch busy men with businesses to tend to internalise their life. They walk with determination, persuaded their office is at the top of an accumulation of ignored salutations and Penrose staircases, you see. I was never one for conversations. I frustrate people, so I started writing my rhymes, and I still miss the point like join the dot constellations, but now I run my tongue along the pavement. I pick up on other people's exchanges. I started listening to the streets talk and become like a pothole filling up with anecdotal phrases. Like the sand-crusted eyelids that micro-sleep between waves at 5 a.m, those surfer hipster hybrids, because it's the only time when time is silent, mixed with old men weaving stories through the patchwork chessboards, knowing that one wrong footstep and their king could fall. I learned how to vocalise the sighs of love from couples parked beside the lighthouse, hoping that their hot-skin friction and thuds will materialise into a child worth guiding safely to the shore. I saw a kid fisherman standing on the harbour wall thinking, what if this fish is so big that when I reel it in, it lands on this loose jetty board where I've been standing and it flings me up so that I can harvest the sky past these clouds to the sun because I know where she hides. And then he counted to 10 just to give her some time. Meanwhile, on the back streets, girls dressed up like ladies parade themselves beneath the shade of waylaid morals, like shoals of fish. They dance across the water's surface, arm in arm with empty coattails that glimmer like fish scales before they're caught out of water and fading. I hear that young voice saying, hey Dad, we ought to stay here till midnight. And his dad smiles, answering, sure. We can stay here all night, every night, because this is our city magnified as if seen through the collective eye. And for one brief moment, I saw the whole world open before me as if a map was carved into that elephant's side. I was the kid fisherman being tucked in at night. I was a solemn man dressed in a suit and a tie. I was that young girl long ago who told men they were blind. We have the potential to see everything with eyes wide and clear, that our lives are nothing but a snapshot of moments filled with the dull ache of fear. See, I came here to set the needle spinning. I was hoping to maybe evoke one of those scenes from musicals where people in the streets burst out singing, but I realised that I just spent my whole time trying to describe my city as a whole, and I can guarantee that I've only managed a small part. And though I lined my heart with the sand that dusted my fingertips as a kid, building castles up like crumbling beacons of hope, the only way this poem is ever going to work is if we all joined hands and our eyes kaleidoscoped. But no, for now I'm just standing here grabbing at the words falling out of your throat, because we're all part carving our own path through this precinct, and I'm afraid we'll be forever stumbling into elephants in the dark.
Yeah.